2 tickets to the chaos train, all aboard. Here we are. We're fully packed. We're on board. The chaos train is leaving the station.
How are you doing, babe?
Don't ask me that. Come on. How are you doing?
I was actually having a really nice morning until I tried to set up for this. And then every week, without fail, something goes wrong. And I don't know why. I'm using the same equipment. I'm in the same house. There's no reason for it.
No reason.
Just torture from the universe.
Yeah. You know, you can believe or not in Mercury in retrograde. Will doesn't. He's laughing. I do. Shit goes wrong. My computer died. So I'm coming to you live from an ancient desktop. You know, we do what we got to do.
I don't know for all of my woo-woo stuff. I actually can't
get behind Mercury in retrograde.
I don't know. I don't not believe it. I just don't know enough about it to be like, yeah, that feels right.
I just know that it happens in my life without fail.
When Facebook and everything went down, there was so many, like, I follow like woo-woo accounts saying, or like, don't believe in Mercury retrograde. How about now?
Well, we already know that was an inside job.
Okay. Calm down.
I can't blame
oh my god,
my kid.
You little cat.
Yeah. Did you think it was the ghost of Kit Kit? How are you doing since that? It's been a week since you lost Kit Kit. How are you doing?
No, it's been a couple weeks, I think, isn't it?
It's been a couple weeks since you lost Kit Kit. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I just miss him. Like, even today when I took the bins out, I heard a little sound, and it's always those babies next door. They got like baby kids over there. And it was like a scream thing from a baby, and it sounded like my Kit Kit, and I was like, and then I remembered it wasn't him. I miss him so much, and I only had him for a couple of months, but like I really loved that little thing.
Hey, as we've said before, it's not the length of a connection, it's the quality.
It really is. He's just such a good boy. I know, my little kid. I love him. I look at pictures of him like every day.
Oh, I know. I had the 5-month anniversary of 5 months of Ivy being dead.
How do you feel about the word death-iversary?
Death-iversary.
I hate it.
I hate that. No, I don't like that. I'm not gonna get no.
It's a thing. It's a thing that people
say. Is it really?
Yeah, I don't like it.
No, I don't like that at all.
No,
anyway, I've been missing my kitty too. I understand.
I know you have, babe. Yeah, it's weird to, like, when you think you hear them and stuff, you're just like,
yeah. I know. I was walking in the kitchen yesterday, and her food bowl, I swear to God, I thought there was a cat there. Like, her food bowl was tinkling like it would when she would eat there. I don't know what it was, but there was no cat there. You think you hear them everywhere.
I know. They're so still here, I feel.
Yeah.
Kittering around. But listen, anyways, we could go on and on about our various animal bereavements.
Yes, we have
literally
quite a few.
I was in the shower yesterday. I was thinking about it. I'm actually getting a bit teary now. I was thinking about it, and I was just in the shower. I was just like, why? There's been so many. My fucking cat in England's died as well.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. Mercury in retrograde.
I was in the shower yesterday, and I was just like, no, I can't do this anymore. I was like, no one else come into my life. No animals, no people. I don't want any more friends. I don't want to love anyone else.
No, won't be getting you a kitten for Christmas this year.
Stay the absolute fuck away from me. I'm unprepared to lose anything else. So yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't even be friends anymore.
No, this is why we're gonna do remote streaming from now on, because
I never want to see you again. I never want to see you in person again.
We were speaking to one of our guests, one of our friends. Wait, did she say it on the podcast? I think she did, when she was like, her boyfriend was like, don't go on that podcast, everyone they love dies. So listen, terrible. People, here's one of the things about grief, is that if you love somebody, and I'm assuming there are a list of at least 5 people you love, grief that's potential grief right there.
What did you post on our Instagram? Grief is love's grand
Yeah.
finale.
Yeah. Grief is love's grand finale.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
listen,
and it's true. It's beautiful.
I don't know who said that about our podcast, but I got news for you. Everyone loves is going to die. So it's not just us, all right? We're just discussing it. That's the difference.
We're just talking about it.
Exactly. Most people just eat a chocolate cake and just never talk about it again.
Which is what I'm considering doing. So shall we crack on with the news?
Yeah, ready?
It's not world news.
It's not important news.
It's Lucy and Annabel news.
Why'd you stop in the middle of the diddle-a-doos? You just stopped and stared at me. Were you ready for me to stop it too?
No, because your sound cut out and I was like, is she?
That was pretty good today.
It was fine.
That was the best we've had so far.
Listeners, when you hear this, can you text us on Instagram and tell us if you think that we should record a proper news jingle or if this one's good enough? I like it because it makes me laugh. But anyway, let's start with my shit news.
All right,
guys, I have
shit news.
I haven't even really looked at this. It caught my eye because Lucy and I have been dealing with financial things this week.
Yeah.
Lucy is going to blame Mercury retrograde.
Yeah,
for her
Mercury
various retrograde. She's been on the phone for at least 56 hours this week talking to different financial institutions about this, that, and the other.
About all my investments, my many investments. Yes, but it's not as many hours as you've been on the phone with banks that won't let you access accounts.
No, I can get into the accounts, but hey, good luck finding anything in there
that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes any sense.
Jesus Christ.
If you guys thought that doing your taxes couldn't be any worse, I got news for you. How about this? How about doing your dead husband's taxes and his business taxes with a business account that's got no information on it, and I've got no idea what anything is or what it's for. So I've had to literally go through like photos, things in my calendar, memories, and sit there and try and like remember like what we bought, when, looking things up online, going how much was.
Oh no.
Literally.
Like, and what is this charge for $987?
Yeah, exactly. And like some of it I've been able to piece together, a lot of it I have, but then there's like basically anything that we would have been able to write off for like client shit, nothing.
Oh, Annabel.
Because I don't have the receipts. And I started going through my like photos to try and put it to dates to see if there was stuff in there.
That's insane.
And it was
what do you mean? Like maybe if you two took a picture with it of like a selfie at Best Buy or something, like buying our new TV.
Yeah, or like, you know, did we take
a lunch
producer out to dinner that day? Were we meeting with a vendor? Like were we with our employees? Just to try and figure out literally fucking anything. So that was
no wonder you haven't had time for the news. Jesus.
Haven't had any time for it. But one thing that caught my eye this morning was okay, you know, it's just more Harry and Meghan. I'm obsessed. Okay.
Oh, good. We haven't talked about them in a while.
I haven't talked about them in at least 10 days.
What's the latest?
Inside Harry and Meghan's very hippie investment firm, founders of ethical banking company, including former £37,000 a year Epsom College schoolboy, begin meetings by thanking each other and list a dog as its chief smile officer. What do you think about that? The Sussexes have been appointed impact partners at Ethic, based in New York, with a huge fund of cash. The couple were introduced to the firm by friends, but haven't said how much they were investing or what they're going to be paid. Ethic claims it will only invest investors' cash in businesses it believes passes its social responsibility criteria. New deal comes after tie-ups with Netflix and Spotify and following their trip to the Big Apple last month.
Well, get me over there. Get my money. I mean, I'm in investing right now. Let's get over to Ethic.
Doesn't that sound actually like really nice?
Yeah, there's a smiling dog.
I'm gonna. Oh no, they look like they. Oh God, these men. I don't think I can trust these men with my money. They look way too happy.
Oh, they do. That's
Yeah.
dangerous.
Yeah, rich people don't usually look this happy. They look really
I don't
stressed
trust
and
people
hollow
who are too
inside.
happy. I don't trust people who are too happy.
No, oh look, here's a proper press photo of them. Oh, that one on the left's kind of sexy. Oh, I like this one. Oh, honey.
Sexy for a new banking venture?
That is what I've decided is missing from like American institutions in general. Like, you know how I feel that the president can only be somebody that can still fuck.
Right.
Yeah. And I think a big mistrick on the chat around like why Hillary didn't win the presidency.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, it's because she's a woman. It's because she's a woman. It's like,
she's got no fuckability.
She's a frumper dumper.
What are we, England? What is this, England?
Yeah. No sex appeal, none. Literally fucking minus sex appeal. And also, I think there's like a really twisty element of it whereby, like, you know how, I don't know if you're familiar with the story of Bill Clinton getting his dick sucked by Monica Lewinsky. I don't know if you're familiar with that little ditty, but however much you like it or don't like it, society, when a man cheats on a woman, society judges the woman. What is wrong with her? Why is she deficient? You fucking know it's true. I know it's true. It makes her look like sexually unviable, especially during that time, back before we had all of our like sex positivity bullshit going on. And it's like, yeah, not even her husband wants to fuck her.
So how is America going to want to fuck her?
How's America going to want to fuck her and have her fuck other people on our behalf? Anyway. So the point is that there's this hippie, these hippies, these fucking rich hippies. He literally says here, we love hippies, the sexy one. You know, I don't really know anything about money or investing. I'm making this up as I go along. Ryan was really good at that stuff. I'm trying to learn, and
Will's really good at it, thank God.
Good, thank God. But also, my advice to you, Lucy, is get familiar with it.
Take your money to the Harry and Meghan bank.
No, but I mean for you as a wife, and this is something also, by the way, I know it seems like I've had a lot of coffee. I haven't had any. While we're on the money chat, is like, it's been a big wake-up call for me, obviously losing Ryan in general with everything, but specifically with like money and accountability as far as me like knowing what was going on with things. I'm lucky that there was no surprises with anything that Ryan was doing, like 0 surprises. But the point is that now I'm in a position where I like don't know what things are. I don't know how to run our investments. I don't know. So I've had to get basically like employ like a firm to do that for me. I don't even know what any of it means. And I really regret that. I really regret there are so many things, like I didn't know how to put printer ink in. I didn't know how to do this. I didn't know how to do that because Ryan took care of everything. And I'm just really encourage anyone listening who is in a relationship or a marriage, like, not to be dreary, but like shit happens, as we've learned here, like know what's going on. You don't have to be an expert, but I went into it completely blind, like completely blind.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. That has crossed my mind many times. Just the other day, I was watching Will on the computer and he was looking at cryptocurrency stuff. And I didn't understand any of it. And I thought, if he wasn't here to do this, I'd be fucked. And we have... Well, no. I know I wouldn't, somebody. But like at the beginning, like I don't even know where our passwords are. I don't know how to get into those accounts. I don't know what website that was. I don't know where that exists. And I would need a lot of help to retrieve my money. And it's a scary thought. And then you push those thoughts away because you don't want to think like that.
Don't.
but it is a wake-up call. And you also talked to me when Ryan died about life insurance and things like that we don't think about in our 20s and 30s, but Ryan did, and thank God he did.
Yeah. Well, and also we didn't have a will, we didn't have anything like that. And the only reason Ryan's estate didn't go into probate was because I was the beneficiary of the life insurance. So it doesn't matter if you're married. Your shit will go into probate to be disputed if somebody wants to dispute anything.
Oh.
So if I wasn't
tough lessons,
you know, and that's the thing, is like, I just massively encourage, and listen, women especially, because let's be honest, like for the most part, what happens is, you know, men and women or whoever get married, men, women, the breadwinner is let's be honest, usually the man, I would say, in most cases, who's earning the lion's share just because of the way things are structured. Women are the ones that have the babies. Okay, so here we are, we're out of the workforce, whatever. So around me, so much what I see is like men and women like getting divorced and shit, or breaking up. A woman is 10-15 years out of the workforce because she's been raising kids, 20 years, maybe she's in her 40s, maybe she's in her 50s, and she's fucked.
Yeah, it's happened to a lot of women I know.
It is actually scary. It's actually scary. And then these women are out on their own. They've got no money, no fucking skills. Skills, inverted commas.
Right.
They've spent their job for the last however many years has been keeping their family together, and now they've got jack shit.
Right.
And that, like, the situation I'm in, it reminds me of that. It's not that, but it was a big wake-up call to me. And it's like, one thing I will say to anyone that's like married or in a relationship is just, you don't have to know everything, but like, button your shit up, have a master list of passwords. If there are investments, understand what they are, where they are, how to access them, just shit like that. Because, oh baby, have I spent a year doing it.
Yeah, this is real life shit, and we all need to take responsibility for ourselves and make sure that we'd be okay no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you get in the habit, you get into the dynamic of putting each other in charge of different things, because there's things that I'm in charge of that Will doesn't know about.
Yeah.
And if I went away, he would have to start at zero. So just communicating, getting on the same page with that, having those difficult conversations. Hey, let's talk about a will, so that things are clear. And that if one of us went away, I'll just say it that way, that there wouldn't be a fight from anybody, wouldn't be able to come at us about anything. It's all clear.
Exactly.
We know what the deal is. I think that's so important. And it's really hard to confront that and have that conversation. But as you know, it's necessary.
You know, thank God Ryan was as organized as he was, because we did have a lot of those conversations before. But there is also, even with him being as organized as he was and our shit being as tied up as it was, I'm still scratching my head for the last 10 months.
Yeah.
So, you know, even this week. So,
well, good for you. That's been so overwhelming, and you're I can't believe you're having to do all that, but you're making progress. You have handled a lot of things.
Yeah,
you have.
It's good. It's all good. It's just what you've got to do. But that's my news. Sorry about the tangent. Every single time I do a tangent, whatever, it's what I do. Get over it. Don't listen if you don't like it. Okay.
Well, I'm just interested in this sexy photo shoot that they did for their new banking endeavor.
No, it wasn't Harry and Megs. It was the crusty hippie dudes.
The people you're supposed to trust.
Yeah. Them.
All right. Well, we'll post it for everybody. So my news this week is about what's going on with Dave Chappelle. So we love him. So have you seen it? Have you seen the special?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, me too.
What did you think of it, outside the, if you can be objective, outside the controversy, outside of all of that?
Yeah.
Like, what are your feelings about it?
I watched it with the aim to be objective and leave everything I'd heard about it at the door and just listen to him, listen to what he was saying. And I kept waiting for the really offensive stuff. And it never came.
Right.
And then the way he tied it in at the end with the beautiful story he told about his friend, I thought what he said was really powerful and positive, actually. And I found it strange. What I was left with was this realization that people aren't really listening, I don't think, because I don't think what he was saying was meant to condemn anyone. I think as a comedian with creative license, you are poking fun at everyone, and which he does, pokes fun at all kinds of people. And I just kind of never felt that it was highly offensive, or the word that it's being twisted as is what's the word?
Transphobic.
Phobic means a fear of something. And I didn't feel that that's where he was coming from. So I think that might be a twist that others are giving it. But I really thought what he said was powerful. And what did you think?
I loved it. I thought it was excellent. I thought the jokes were great. I thought, I don't watch Dave Chappelle and think, oh yeah, there's going to be nothing offensive in this. I think that's the thing that I find weird about all of the outrage. Is like, Dave Chappelle tells racist jokes, he tells sexist jokes, he tells homophobic jokes, he tells transphobic jokes, he tells fatphobic jokes. If you're easily offended, don't watch Dave Chappelle. It's again like this thing that you and I talk about a lot, is that people just want the world to like be catered around them and just be all soft and squishy, and so that they never have to like bump into any hard edges. And I think that you just have to be kind of a bit more responsible for your own, mental health, and just not engage in it if it's not for you. If you're going to be offended by the things he's saying.
Yeah, I mean, he makes as much fun of white women as anything. I mean, he made plenty of jokes about white women.
His whole thing is the most of it is about criticizing white people and white culture, which I'm not offended by in the slightest.
I'm not at all.
I think what he's saying is hilarious. I don't have to always agree with him,
right?
But I think he's so funny. And there's definitely been a couple of times where he said things that were like sexist, where I've been like, eh. But ultimately, I'm titillated by the like extremes that he goes to, and that's why I watch Dave Chappelle. I'm not watching Dave Chappelle because I want to hear like funny anecdotes about like family life and being married. That's not why I go to a Dave Chappelle show. It's because I want him to talk about like crackheads and fat people and trans people and gay people and his dick, and like that's what I'm trying to hear.
Yeah,
that's why I showed up to watch this Netflix special. And I think, like I've said to you in our own chats about it, I find the outrage to be frustrating, because where is the outrage about like all of the other fucked up shit that's on Netflix, like the gratuitous violence towards women, the gratuitous scenes of like sexual assault, sexual harassment, sexual abuse of women, like pedophilic undertones and so many things. Like, if you're gonna have a fucking hissy fit about Dave Chappelle jokes and his special that he does once a year, where's your outrage about all the other stuff? I just think I'm just bored of hearing everyone whining on and on.
It's so boring. And I think what I saw that Dave Chappelle stands for is not taking yourself so seriously.
Exactly. I thought it was really powerful. I'm always left when I watch Dave Chappelle at the end, I just sit there with my mouth open. He always ends it in a way that is like so thought-provoking.
I know.
And so intense that I just sit there like, oh my fucking God, what have I just
got schooled. I know.
Yeah, I got schooled. Exactly. I feel like I've just been taken to school, and that's what I want from him. And I thought the story that he told about his friend Daphne was so empowering,
Yeah.
for him, for her, for their relationship. I loved hearing about her. I loved hearing about his friendship and his love with her. And, you know, I love when he said, like, she's my people. And when he said that, what I understood him to be saying was, she's a comedian, she's an artist, she's a performer. That's my people.
Yeah.
And at the end, when he said, stop punching down on my people, I got chills all over me. The comment that he made about taking a man's livelihood is as good as killing him, you know, directly correlates to his closing statement, which is stop punching down on my people. I think, you know, he's just over cancel culture, and it's sort of rightly so.
And I think people appreciate that. And that's why he got the standing ovation at the bowl, because people are over this. It's not about my people versus your people. It's not about, like you say, Annabel, I don't care what you are, just be a good person. That's his point too.
Yeah. I liked that he said, like, Twitter isn't a real place. Like, that just
Loved
got me
that.
laughing, because it made me think, because I see stuff on Twitter all the time and I'm like, oh fucking hell. And then I remind myself, like, literally, if I said this thing that I've seen on Twitter to anyone that lives on my street, none of them would have ever heard of it, know about what it is, give a fuck. So why am I sitting here getting heated about it? It's not real.
It's not real.
And I thought that was really, really powerful. So I thought it was a great fuck you to those people who are online just dragging everyone to the high heavens, who can't wait to bring people down, who can't wait for somebody to fuck up, who feel the world should be padded for them, you know.
Yeah.
No.
And
that's not real life.
No, it's not real life. And you just see that people don't want to listen. They're not truly listening to what's being said.
Exactly. I loved your point about that.
I'm shocked by that. I see it all the time. I'm working on it in my own life, just trying to really listen to what someone's saying, and also be clear about what I'm saying. I think so much we're speaking, we're blah, 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 blah. A lot's coming out of our mouth, but we're not really saying much. And on the other side of that, I think that people are not really listening.
Mm-hmm.
So he's very clear.
Yeah, very concise in his message. And I really liked it. I was laughing, I was gasping, I was covering my face. At the end, I had tears in my eyes, you know. So I thought it was excellent. This week I had a lot of, like, stress after we put that episode out, because the last thing I want to do is hurt people's feelings. And
I know I had a lot of stress as well. High stress.
I didn't want to, like, hurt anyone's feelings about the fat suit stuff, but also ultimately I have to be realistic about how I feel. I know that my feelings about that specific issue are not what is popular in culture. And because I don't care about it as an issue particularly, I am sorry that me not caring about it could be hurtful to people. But because I don't care about it, it's not a hill I'm willing to die on. And that was a good lesson for me, because I'm like, there's just shit I just don't want to fucking talk about, because I don't care enough to talk about it, and I don't want to get in hot water over it, or hurt anyone's feelings. More importantly, it is not worth it to me to hurt other people's feelings. On the other hand, we did have listener feedback that was, like, really, really good and illuminating and very positive. Like, the conversation in the DMs regarding that conversation was really, really positive.
Like what?
And I felt I learned a lot from it. As I said, I really, like, don't know how much I want to necessarily get into my opinions about it, but the overarching sort of feeling was that fat suits are most frequently used in a, like, derogatory,
making fun of it kind of
making
way.
Fun of fat people, which I completely agree is a totally different thing than Renee wearing the fat suit to be the killer. Those are two different things.
Yeah.
And this listener says, anytime I've seen a movie or show that uses a fat suit, it's portrayed overweight people poorly and trivializes or ignores associated and mental and physical struggle. So if someone can list some movies that don't do that, I'd be open to changing my view. I find fat suits offensive, not for how they look, but I find them offensive because 99% of the time, when the actors and actresses wear fat suits, it's in a way to mock and hate on fat people. I don't think I've seen a movie in my life where I've seen fat suits used in a non-offensive way. That's my opinion.
So the same thing as the other comment.
Yeah, that basically was everyone writing in for why they didn't like fat suits. That's basically their vibe. And then, you know, specifically in Shallow how there's no other way that they could have done that movie without the use of a fat suit specifically. So maybe that wasn't the best example for me to give because that's a very specific thing.
It is what do you mean it's not a good example? They weren't making
because it's
fun.
not
The message of that movie was to support that you are beautiful no matter what your weight is. And they needed to show her as the fat woman to tell that story. So that's actually a beautiful movie about that concept.
Yeah. So
that wasn't making fun of fat people at all. That was shining the flashlight on the judgment that people have against people for their weight.
Exactly. And that's one of the comments about that movie that we had is that from a listener, Ellie, I feel like Shallow Hal, the fat suit was used to make a point and share a message. Yes, you could argue that Gwyneth's character was offensive, but the point was that Hal only saw the beauty in people. And even after the spell was broken, he still loved her. It had nothing to do with the way she looked, but how she made him feel and the way she lived.
Exactly.
I feel like the idea of the movie is to give everyone a chance because sometimes the prettiest girls are the ugliest, and they really did a good job of that.
They really did, yeah.
And then we had another user write in who says, as a fat person, it always makes me feel more marginalized than I already am. Fat people are treated differently by doctors when it comes to jobs, you name it. The world assumes fat people are less than and fat suits are offensive. That movie is in many ways to be beyond offensive.
I gotta disagree there.
Totally fine. She goes on to say, the hardest part is many doctors don't treat the person, they treat the fat and the number on the scale. There's so much energy around people's bodies that shouldn't be. It's a culture problem created by the media, and it's much worse for women than it is for men. And she says, thanks for tackling this tough issue. And we chatted for a while, and that made me feel better when I started hearing from like different groups of people. But at first I was just like, fuck, like, am I just like misunderstanding this whole issue completely? And as I said, ultimately my views are not popular on this. It's not something I'm willing to like get into like a conversation about it. I'd rather talk about other things. At the end of the day, I look at this like I look at so many other issues, and it's your body and it's your choice. I know that some people have underlying health conditions and it's not their choice that their body is fat or thin or whatever it is. But if you choose to live that way, then that's your choice. That's got fuck all to do with me or yours.
I felt the exact same this week. I was so worried that I might have hurt anybody's feelings because that's the last thing I'd want to do too. While at the same time speaking what's my opinion on things and what's been my experience. So it's an interesting position we've put ourselves in here, Annabel.
I mean, it's like anything that we discuss that is controversial, whether it's Dave Chappelle special or the vaccine, whatever it is, it's like, these are conversations that the world is having. It would be weird if we weren't having them. And I had to think about it a lot this week. I'm just not willing to get to this point where it's like, I am no longer thinking, speaking, sharing what I believe, what
out of fear,
feel out of fear. I should hope that the listeners at this point now know like who we are as people, and also that we're absolutely willing and love having conversation, and like we'll like tell us why we're wrong. Like that's why we're here, is to have difficult conversations.
Tell me why what I just said is really fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. Because otherwise, how does anyone learn?
Right. Yeah, exactly. We all learn from each other.
And we can think about all the people that are on the Instagram or listening to the pod, and we share the things. And it's like, the point is we're trying to think here. We're trying to think and share and learn and experience. And that's basically why you and I come here every week.
Yeah. So that's the news.
1 hour later, podcast over.
Yeah, well, I just, had some random tidbits to offer you this week. It's kind of a smorgasbord of little lessons along the way the last 7 days. I'm sure you have some tidbits to offer me as well. Show me your tidbits, baby.
I'll show you my titties.
Well, I have a little exciting update that I'll start with.
About your tits?
I've seen your titties. That's old news.
Oh my God. One of my tits is like...
Still?
No, it's just like, I'm just really trying to get used to the change in placement of them. And I'm struggling. And also...
because they got 10 times bigger and you're struggling with that?
Yeah, and like now the one that's bigger is like way bigger, and like because they're bigger, I'm just like, whoa, I can really see, not like in a bad way, just in a like, okay, that's definitely a bigger tit. Like,
well, they have surgeries for that kind of thing.
Oh, leave my titties alone.
I know, we are all natural.
Natural, darling. Anyway, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that I had a very exciting breakthrough this week.
Oh my God, tell me everything.
Yeah, I mentioned in the past that I had this dream where I was on the roller coaster, the Star Wars roller coaster at Disneyland with our dear Chelsea Hamill, who I'm waiting in line and with her, and I'm scared to go on the ride. And she's like, "It's fine. You'll be fine. Little kids are doing it."
Is this the dream or is this real life?
This was the dream.
Okay.
And I didn't go on the ride. I made her tell me all the twists and turns. And then I stepped over the ride and they all went on without me. And I shared that I had been doing that my whole life at amusement parks. Remember me saying that? I would wait in line, not get on the ride, wait for everyone on the other side because I was too afraid to have that experience. And that, I think, was like the way I was living life in a lot of ways. Well, a couple weeks ago, I went to Disneyland and I went on that ride.
Yeah, good. Good for you. Did you piss your little pants?
It was so not scary. And I thought there were little 5 and 4-year-olds on it. And I thought I was in line with them and I was going to do it. I was going to wait while they went on it, and I was going to be at the exit. And I thought, fuck that. Fuck this. I am not living in fear anymore. And when I went on it, and it was like laughable how not scary it was. And I got off and I thought, wow, look at that. That spell is now broken for me. That was a scary thing that I couldn't handle. Yeah. Look at how powerful that is in our lives. We have all these spells that we're under. And are you willing to break them? Are you willing to take that risk and break that spell and move into that new level of existence?
It's a choice.
Yeah, it is a choice. And it was very, very powerful for me to do that for myself. So I just thought, hey, let's all remind ourselves to break through those spells, take those risks, and just makes your world bigger when you do that. Yeah. When you have all these spells that you've put in place for yourself, I can't do this, I can't do that, this is too scary, this is too overwhelming.
Well, they're limitations.
Your world your world becomes very small and you become paralyzed in a lot of ways. And then you don't even remember that you're living small anymore. It just becomes your normal. So let's not do that. Let's break out of that. Live a big life.
That's one of the things I've noticed since leaving LA is like how very small my life felt there. I mean, not that I'm living like some big life here. If anything, I'm living like a much more pastoral kind of
You're transitioning through a lot of stuff.
Simple life, but
looking back, you're able to see how small it was for you.
Yeah, it was. I didn't really like do very much. I was just like very on my grind and like in my patterns, and you know, I wasn't really living in a lot of ways. I think, which is, I know, a weird thing to say, but I think a lot of us do that.
A lot of us do that. And
just going through the motions, and I just don't want that to be my life. And like you said, with the scary stuff that frightens us to do or think about or whatever, I've had so much fear, I think, in my life about so many different things. And one of the weird side effects of the crash is that it's kind of eliminated a lot of fear for me, which I know is like a grief kind of symptom as well. But it's kind of made me think like, well, the worst has happened, you know, so
there's nothing to be afraid of now.
And if I can survive, you know, even if it's not the worst, God fucking willing, the worst has happened. But you know, if I can survive it, then, you know, not really that scary out there. Not really that scary.
Yeah.
So now I'm out here in Santa Barbara. I be on Instagram promoting doing less, do nothing, rest, have some tea, like expand your mind, expand your body, expand your inner world. I think maybe that's more the point I'm trying to make, is like, I feel like my inner world is much more enriched since I've left that little cycle I was on.
Yeah.
Which has made me hungrier to live.
Me too. Not to compare, you know, going on.
No, but I was going to ask you. No. I was going to ask you, has it made you now like want to do like a bunch of other shit?
It did. It was so funny. I got off the ride. I literally, there I go again with the word. I stood there and I had this moment where I was laughing. I looked like a nutty person because it was really fucking powerful. And I was able to see, wow, we think we know who we are. All this time, I defined myself by, oh, I don't go on, no, that's too, I don't go on roller coasters like that. Yes, I do.
Why?
Yes, I do. We don't know who we are. We actually have no idea who we are. We have constructed this limited personality. We walk a very, very narrow road with these barriers on both sides. It's like being in a bowling lane with those bumpers on both sides so that there's no chance of getting a gutter ball. Like that's not bowling.
Yeah. No, it really isn't. Actually, now you're saying this, yeah, wow. So you remember how a couple of weeks ago we were talking about like doing shit that scares us, and you were like, I'm gonna climb a tree, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna make some plans,
which I haven't done yet. Yes.
You fucking arsehole. You did go on the Star Wars ride though. That's
yes.
I think that counts as climbing a tree.
Okay, good.
I made
You said plans. You were going to make plans, which you did.
I did. And I went and saw a friend who I haven't seen in ages because she's been in Germany through quarantine or whatever. And we had a really nice time. It was really good to see her. It was really lovely to just like hear all about her life in Germany. And, you know, she's just got this talk about opening and expanding your horizons. You know, she kind of lived there by accident and now she loves it. And, you know, she's got this whole other life and world now, which I think is just so inspiring.
But you were telling us the government forced her to be German because they said, don't come back to the US.
Well, they didn't force her to be German, but they were like, yeah,
you're German now.
But so we were talking about all that stuff, but it was interesting. I had a really nice time, and I don't want to make the experience negative because it wasn't. But it was a bit of a breakthrough experience for me because I found myself not really knowing how to be. And we obviously talked about the crash. She had questions. I haven't seen her since everything. And this is one of the closest people to me in my life. And she obviously got really emotional, and I wouldn't let myself cry or get emotional. And, I'd kind of gone into the day, like feeling like, okay, this is going to be good. I need to make this good and make this a positive experience, because I don't want to like traumatize myself and not see other people, and put my makeup on, and I made sure my outfit felt good and all of those things. And I just was like a bit uncomfortable the whole time, because I didn't want to be too sad, but I didn't want to be too happy, and I didn't want to be talking about Ryan too much, but I didn't want to not talk about Ryan. I didn't want to not answer her questions about the crash, but I didn't want to really talk about the crash. And I just felt like uncomfortable. And when she was recounting that day that I had texted her about the crash and everything on the day, this look of just like terror was in her eyes. And that's the look that everyone has when they remember that day and talk to me. And I felt so sort of like destroyed by that, just the trauma that everyone, even far and wide, has had to endure by just receiving that text message or that call that day. And it's very visible in people's eyes. And
I'm sure that's a strange thing to have to feel like you need to be there for someone else as they recount that day. That must be very strange.
Every time I see somebody, that's what it is. And I think that's the big part of why I've avoided seeing people, because I don't want to relive it again and again. I also don't know
from their perspective.
I don't know how to be. I don't know how exactly to be, how much to share, what not to share. And
see, and that, Annabelle, is why you didn't want to make the plans.
That's why I haven't been making plans.
Fact that you did make the plans and that you sat in that discomfort and you witnessed all those things flowing through you, that's a miracle. Congratulations. That is the concept we're talking about, is taking that leap, taking those bumpers off of your bowling lane so that you don't know what'll happen. That's called risk. And that's what you were avoiding. And you made the plan. Not only that, but it led to bigger plan, because then you booked England, and then you booked, the Downton Abbey tour.
The breakthrough is, I cried on the way home, and I cried a lot when I got home. And, that's me. The breakthrough is me doing the act, like you said, and putting myself in the position that I knew was going to be hard, and I knew I didn't want to do, and I knew why. Pushing through it, coming out the other side, and just breaking that first layer of contact with people. And that's what I've been avoiding so deeply, is because I know that it's going to be hard every time. And when I was crying at home, it was because I was like, I knew it was going to be like this. I just don't want everything to be like this all the time. Like, grief is touching everything. Everyone's traumatized. I feel so bad for everyone. I just want to make everything better, blah, 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 all of that stuff. But
exactly the next what you were avoiding.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was avoiding, but I cannot avoid it.
Right.
And that's the problem. And that's why I've been isolating myself away from everyone, because I don't want to feel that. I don't want to fucking cry anymore, but I have to. And that's it. That week I like cancelled all my therapy. I was just having a week where I was like, I don't want to think about grief or pain, depression, or Ryan or Max or anything sad. Like, I just want to go and see my fucking friend. But I can't. That's not real life.
Well,
now it can be with her, because I've broken through that thing, but I had to do the breakthrough.
You had to do that, exactly.
And the knock-on from that is, like, with this I can never say what it's called. EDMR, EMDR. What the fuck's it called? The
I don't remember. I can never remember it either.
EMDR. EDMR. The trauma therapy I'm doing, it is actually working, and I don't really know like how it's working, but it is bringing shit up. And that breakthrough led to the following thing, which was going to the cinema. I've been dreading going to the cinema all year, because that's what Ryan and I used to do together. Like, we loved going to cinema. That was one of our little date things we did. I never used to go to the cinema before, really, ever. And he and I would go all the time.
And this was your first time going again?
First time going. And it's like, after the crash, I was like dreading James Bond, dreading the new Paul McCartney album, dreading Ghostbusters.
So many things. Look at this. Look at all these limitations.
Yeah, exactly. It was like all of these barriers that I was just like, I cannot, like, I can't, let alone can I not see it. I don't want to hear about it. I want it to never come out.
Right.
I went to the cinema and I thought about Ryan the whole time. I went to see James Bond. I fucking loved it. I wouldn't have in a million years gone and seen James Bond before I met Ryan. He converted me to somebody that's interested in that. Just want to be very clear. It's only Daniel Craig, James Bond.
So not the Pierce Brosnan.
Oh no, Pierce Brosnan. Pierce, yeah. Obviously, I've got a soft spot for Pierce Brosnan because I did all his stunt double.
Oh, that's right. I remember this.
The ones before
story
honestly seem like a bunch of soft kisses to me, and I'm not interested
except
in that.
For Sean Connery. He's
when he was younger, yeah, but then the moustache, and it just looks like a lot of soft kissing. I don't like soft kissing. It makes me feel sick.
So was Daniel Craig soft kissing?
No, hard
he's
kisser.
not a soft kisser.
Right.
He's just a come here. Yeah. I'm gonna kiss you. And you're gonna like it.
I'm gonna slap your ass, bitch. So we went to see it, and
that's what women want. Shit.
I do. I want to be grabbed, pushed around. Like, don't kiss me right now, bitch.
Will throws me around constantly. He's always just shoving me in the walls and just, yanking my hair around. Okay. Anyway, right. James Bond.
But it was such a good film. I thought about Ryan the whole time, and it was, oh, Lucy, it was the most I've missed him.
Oh,
in so long, because I was just like,
I do have to say though, Annabel, you were so happy after you went to the movie.
I felt relieved because
you were so happy.
I had so much tension.
You were excited. You were writing me all about the movie and how fun it was to go to the movies. And I think it was really healing for you. And it's cumulative. Courage adds up. You don't just get it overnight. You have to work on it. You have to practice courage. So you going to meet your honorary German friend and going through that led you to the courage to go to the theater and confront James Bond. Just like me going on the roller coaster gave me the courage to see, holy shit, I was wrong and I'm not afraid. And then it's totally unrelated, but I had a producer call back for a TV show, and I was able to go into that with a lot of courage, with breaking out of these barriers, and it adds up and it propels you forward. It keeps you moving and it gives you a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
And you were completely different after that movie than you would have been in the past, because you've taken
well, I've taken the time and everything, but it's the relief of the thing being done. Obviously, can't deny that. It's just like, fucking hell, like, I've done that thing now.
The relief after the Star Wars ride was immense.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're just like, it's like when you put something off for ages, like a task, and then you just do it and you're just like, fucking hell, this would have been so much easier if I'd just done this before. But so obviously grief is different. You can't, that thing can be applied to like almost all other things, but grief, you kind of just got to like do shit when you feel when things are right to do.
It's moment to moment.
Exactly. One of the things I wanted to say about that experience of being at the cinema, just from a grief perspective, because I know that we've got a lot of weepy, griefy bitches listening, just like me, is that I missed him so much during the film, and it was the most I've missed him in a long time. And I thought, this is fucking stupid and embarrassing that I'm just like, and it's almost makes me feel like guilty that like the most I've missed him in ages is at the James Bond film, because I was like, I want to know what he would think about the watch, and oh my god, he would love that car, and I wanted to ask him questions, and I knew he'd fancy the girl in the Cuban scenes, and I knew that he would be so frightened by the way that they had Blofeld tied up, and I knew all this stuff, and I knew that at the end he'd be blobbing. There's a little teddy bear that's in the movie, and I've got this teddy that I sleep with, and I can just imagine him like grabbing my hand and being like, oh, it's Heffalump. Do you know what I mean? Just like all of that.
Yeah.
And it made me miss him so much, and that tension was building. Obviously, also, by the way, there's lots of like car chases and crashes in it, so that was a little
I didn't even think about
I
that.
was fine for most of the movie, but then there was one scene where I was just like, where
Too
like
much.
a family was in the car, and I was just like, it was like making my heart go a little bit, and I was like, it's okay, it's just a film, this isn't your situation. But do people know what's happened at the end of James Bond? Right, everyone knows.
I don't know. I'm going to see it tonight.
Okay, so you don't want to know what happens at the end?
I don't care, tell me.
Because you know it's Daniel Craig's last James Bond.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay, so all right, it's Daniel Craig's last James Bond.
Oh, okay.
So basically, look, at the end of the film, there's a million fucking things in this film that triggerized me. There's friendship deaths, there's daddy deaths, there's like there's love of your life deaths.
Cat death.
There's all rolled into horse,
Mice,
cat, rat, like everyone's fucking dying. I'm sitting there at the end in the end scene, and I am blobbing, let me tell you, because it's every death rolled into one, and I'm just sitting there going so much. My friend like grabbed the handkerchief out of his pocket, he's like, oh my god, take it, because I lost it at the end. But it wasn't just about the film, it was the tension relief of like getting through the grief milestone. And I just wanted to share that with anyone, because there are so many of these little things in grief that feel so silly. You can be like, oh, this like bread reminds me of them, and start crying in the grocery store. And it's like, you're not a freak. It's not weird. It's not unusual. You know, having like a nervy bee at the end of James Bond, like obviously that was going to happen. And it's okay. I didn't feel embarrassed. I knew it was coming. I knew I had to like break through the thing. And now I like can't wait to go to the cinema again. I can't wait to see Ghostbusters. I felt like I spent time with Ryan in some weird way.
I was gonna say he was there with you. You had that experience with him.
Yeah, I felt very specifically that like I didn't with Ryan. I felt like I was encouraged to go. Mm-hmm. It was like you gotta go.
You're going, yeah.
Like by him rather than with him. But I knew that he was like, it was like I could feel like laughter or something. I don't know, it's weird to describe the way that you feel people with you after they're gone in different situations. But the breakthroughs for me have all been grief related and progress related, as far as me moving through these next scary steps of like, I've been living in my grief, Lucy, and now it's time for me to live with it. Mm-hmm. And that's been my big breakthrough, if that's what we're talking about today.
That is what we're talking about, breakthrough, because after help comes breakthrough, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The natural progression from asking for help, offering help. The point of help is to have breakthrough.
Yeah, move forward, progress. Yeah, big time.
And you've asked for a lot of help and received a lot of help without being able to ask, and you've done that for yourself in showing up for your therapy, in making sure that you eat right, in not drinking alcohol for a while. That's all helping yourself. And this is the reward, are these breakthroughs.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've earned it.
So like same with you, and you've taken yourself out of that cult situation, you've given yourself a break, got yourself in a nice relationship, you're doing therapy, you've asked for help.
Yeah.
Many in
a lot of ways.
And you wouldn't be in the situation that you're in if you hadn't gone, fuck, I need some help.
Amen. You can ask for help in a lot of ways. Quiet. Why have I gone quiet? Can you hear me?
You've gone quiet.
Why?
I can't hear you.
Mercury in retrograde. Shit. Mercury in retrograde.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing happened.
I can't hear you.
Mercury.
She's held up a sign that says Mercury. We can't hear each other anymore.
Well, I'm gonna call you on the phone.
But how's it gonna work on the podcast?
Because it's recording.
Oh yeah, Zoom's recording. Lucy's calling me on the phone. We're gonna finish the podcast on the phone. This is amazing. Hey.
Perfect.
So we'll just finish
Mercury.
the podcast.
We're on the phone.
It's
What's
not
up?
fucking Mercury. It's because we're idiots.
It's Mercury.
And what I wanted to say, what I was trying to say to you is, it's like you literally are saying. I was watching your Instagram the other day, and like your lives you've been doing, and like reading into camera and stuff, and you literally.
You know, I hate that stuff.
You wouldn't have done that when I first met you. You wouldn't have done that.
That's so
in
hard
a
for me to
million
do these
years.
lives, but I'm forcing myself because
And
I
you've
don't
been
want to
putting-
be confined anymore.
Exactly. And that's why I'm saying it's like you've asked for help and now you're having breakthroughs as a result of it. You would never have put your face on your Instagram before when I met you.
Never. I would die first.
Well,
And
don't
now
die
I'm
first.
like,
Waste.
I don't care if I don't look perfect. I don't care what, you know, I don't care if it's not perfect. I just want to live free, available for help. Like we said, help and be helped. And it's asked for in a million different ways. It's not always literal, helping ourselves. And then these breakthroughs are the reward. So let's just keep
breaking down walls.
breaking down walls, saying fuck you to fear. I can do it. I am valuable. I am worthy. I am enough. I deserve this. I deserve freedom and happiness and breakthroughs and a big life. I want, above all, a big life.
Yeah, I love that
I
shit.
don't want to live in a little fenced in corner of some dark room.
You're back.
I want a big life in the sunshine.
Can I read you a quote that was in James Bond, which is literally perfect for this conversation? I'm going to hang up on you because I can hear you again in my headphones.
Okay, bye. We are two bitches that do whatever it takes.
Oh, I'll do whatever it takes, baby. Okay. This literally can be more perfect. This quote is what is part of what sent me at the end of the movie, just crying. Like,
can't wait. What is it?
Okay. The proper function of man is to live, not exist. I shall not waste my days in trying to prolong them. I shall use my time. Motherfucking James, motherfucking one. So
I'm speechless.
that is...
I'm not going to say anything to fuck that up. I love you.
Love you.
Love you.